Well, eNCA's Erin Bates is at the court in Bloemfontein and joins me now. So, Erin, it all came down to the strength of the evidence that has been presented by the prosecution in this case, didn't it?
Yes, and Lopes is saying there, there are some concerns for him over the money from the Department of Agriculture going into the Estina account at the Bank of Baroda and its movements from there, raising serious concerns about the flows of money involving some of the applicants in this case, but him also saying that he's dealing with evidence and not suspicion at this point. Interestingly, Tulas, I saw one of our viewers tweeting, whoever Varun Gupta prayed to while he was in India must have paid off, because the family and their associates have now gotten a whackload of assets back after they were reserved in connection with the Estina dairy project.
What has the National Prosecuting Authority been saying? I mean, I imagine that this is a big blow for them, and in a way, I suppose it takes us down that path of, do they even have their ducks in a row, even if we were to get to a point of having a trial beginning in as far as the Estina project is concerned?
Well, Tulas, I'm so glad you asked, because I have the national spokesperson for the NPA here, Luvuyo Mfaku, our colleague there in Johannesburg, saying this really seems like a blow for the NPA. What's your response to Thulasizwe Simelane on that one?
Look, as I indicated earlier, that naturally we're disappointed. We never expected the judgment to go this direction. We firmly believe that we had adduced enough evidence to ensure that the restraint remains intact, but we still have a preservation order that was earlier granted. We've got assets under preservation that are worth about 140 million relating to the very same project. We will be filing a restraint, a forfeiture order soon. It's either tomorrow, yeah. I think the papers are going to be ready tomorrow. So we, as I indicated earlier on as well, that the criminal case is by no means affected by this. We're still going to continue with the criminal case. On conviction, we can still apply for the confiscation of the assets. The whole idea behind the restraint was to ensure that in the meantime that the assets do not dissipate.
But now that's the very question. What happens to these luxury jets, these high-end vehicles, the properties that have been handed back into the arms of the accused? Anyone worth their salt with any sense who might be facing prosecution would rush off to auction and sell. Are you convinced that you're going to be able to retrieve anything if you do get that conviction down the line?
That is our concern. That was the rationale behind this restraint order, was to ensure that assets do not dissipate. As I indicated, we still have this forfeiture order that we're going to lodge tomorrow. And we're actually hoping that on conviction, we might still get something.
You're a very hopeful man. Just to clarify on these other assets you're talking about that you're seeking an order on tomorrow, do they include some of the assets involved in this case, or are they distinct? I know you said they're both linked to the same Estina dairy project. What kind of assets are we talking about?
No, there's bank accounts, there's the farm and the implements, and I cannot say today that that's the end of the matter as far as the restraint is concerned. Remember, I said we will wait for a typed order, not the handwritten one, so that we actually look at the judgment in its entirety and engage with the leadership as well as the senior council and see whether we can't actually take this matter forward. We can't take this one lying down.
So there may be a possibility of appeal here. I know that Advocate Vim Trengrove was brought on by the state right before arguments that were in court, in this court in fact. Some people might say you handed him a lemon and asked him to make lemonade. Things really haven't gone well here for the NPA.
No, we didn't do that. Remember, Vim has been part of the development of the asset forfeiture jurisprudence. I mean, I think he did the first test case. So we had to bring someone in who is well-versed with the asset forfeiture processes, because this is a specialized field. They had hired the senior counsels. We therefore had to get someone at that level so that we fight fire with fire.
So fire with fire, but it's all gone dead this time round. Anything you want to highlight or add looking forward, particularly when so many of us are concerned about what this might mean for the case in August?
Now, the concern of the public, they believe that this is the end of the criminal case. This was not a pronouncement on the criminal case. this was solely the Chapter 5 application, so they are not acquitted. It is not an acquittal. We are still convinced that we will adduce evidence in court when the case is trial ready, and that would actually ensure a conviction. We firmly believe that we've got reasonable prospects of a successful prosecution.
National spokesperson for the NPA there, Luvuyo Mfaku, giving us his views on today's proceedings, saying it's not a full defeat, it does not exonerate the accused in the Estina dairy matter, and also saying, I thought interestingly, Tulas, that we've gone now from going after luxury jets and high-end motor cars to farms and farm equipment, and that itself may tell us a lot about where things stand in terms of these cases.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that, Erin Bates, joining us live there from Bloemfontein, speaking to the NPA's Luvuyo Mfaku, who basically says that they may have lost this battle, but the war is far from over.